I tried beating the Dungeons and Dragons mod in Terraria. This mod adds a bunch of new wacky weapons, tons of new classes, an entire different way to use mana, and even its very own XP system. Will I be able to take on the role as the wizard and beat all of Terraria using these brand new spells? Well, check this out. So I started off by loading into my beautiful world, and the first thing I went to go do is the casual Terraria stuff, such as eating a mana apple that restricts all of my mana and completely takes away all my mana regeneration. Yeah, typical Terraria stuff. Then I went to go chop down some trees and then realized that I actually needed a player's handbook to craft any type of spells and become any type of class within this mod. To get the player's handbook, I needed myself a mana star, so we had to wait for it to turn to nighttime. Meanwhile, I decided to make myself a bunch of NPC houses and just set up a normal spawn. This is gonna be my little town for a while, and don't judge me, come on, I think you'd want to live here too. It's pretty sick. I went to go mining within the caves, found myself a bunch of completely random and useless stuff. I stumbled upon this crab statue. Before that, I did manage to find myself a flying carpet within a pyramid, so that was pretty cool as well. And then I went to go over to the jungle. As it turned to nighttime, I went to go and farm out a bunch of various different stars, and once I crafted myself a mana crystal, I got myself the player's handbook. After not knowing what to do with it for like a solid 10 minutes, I realized that you can actually place it on the ground and we can start crafting things. So we can craft 4 various different things, which would correspond to the 4 different classes. There was essentially like a rogue, a melee, a wizard, and then this like other thing. I'm not really sure what that was, but it's also like related to magic, so that was pretty cool, but I didn't use it because I'm pretty cool. And so I decided to go with the melee class at first. I thought I was going to use the Rage Soul, which essentially just like increases your life, increases your melee damage. And so for the first like 5 minutes, I actually just went with the Rage class and then realized, hey, I don't really like this and there's no cool weapons for this yet. So I'm probably just going to go as the wizard, right? So I equipped the Wizard Soul and then went back into the caves, do some normal Terraria stuff such as mining. Got myself like a furnace, continued mining, mined until I finished my elevator, and then my elevator was done, and then I lost all meaning and purpose in life, as I usually do with these Terraria playthroughs after I finished mining the elevator. And so then I logged off for like 20 days and then decided to come back to this mod. I continued to build more NPC houses. I decided to fully switch to become a wizard. I usually don't do mage playthroughs, so this is going to be very interesting for me. I finished up my house, made like a pitchfork looking thing, and once it turned to nighttime, I decided to summon in the Eye of Cthulhu. During this time, I actually leveled up to level 2, so I did get some of these class tokens, which we can craft some weapons with. I decided to craft myself the True Magic Missile, and along with this, using my very last class token, I decided to craft the Ray of Frost. The True Magic Missile actually pulled through to like literally almost the end of the game, and the way that these weapons work is every time you level up significantly in the XP bar that's on the top right, you can actually right click on the weapon and upgrade it to make it do more damage. So like right now, our spell level is 1, meaning that it's like the weakest form of it, and if we ever want to level it up in the future, all we have to do is right click on it as our XP is at a higher level and it'll deal more damage. But yeah, I went to go fight the Eye of Cthulhu and then realized that I ran into a very big problem. See, with this mod on, you actually cannot regenerate mana. Yes, that is very fun. I had to use these mobs as like little mana droplets and like strategically do this entire fight in a way where I would wait for the eyeballs to spawn in that it shoots out just so I could pick up mana, and it was just such a big pain, and I actually managed to run out of mana near the end of the boss fight and I ended up dying. After this, I decided to buy a bunch of mana potions, and then we took out the Eye of Cthulhu properly, and this is where I came up with the idea that, hey, as a wizard, we should probably be using mana potions to like regen our mana once it runs out because it doesn't naturally regenerate. So yeah, up until the end of the game, I used that strategy. I don't know if this is legal for the mod. Like, I don't know if Dungeons and Dragons, like you can just like drink a bunch of mana. I never even played Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Who am I kidding? After defeating the Eye of Cthulhu and the sun coming around, like a vampire, went underground because apparently I do not like sunlight, and then I went to go chuck a bunch of bombs to summon in the Eater of Worlds. I got like cremated, bro. Like, it's not even funny. I just got absolutely decimated. This boss destroyed me. I didn't even break. I think I broke like one segment of it, and that's how close I got to killing the boss. So after this, I went to go cry back at home and then realized that I need to get stronger weapons or just gain more XP so we can actually upgrade the level of the spells. While at home, since I leveled up, I did have a couple more class tokens, so I decided to craft this one of like brand new book called the Misty Step, which essentially was like a downgraded version of the Rod of Discord, and it could just like teleport us around for some mana cost and actually did not damage us, so that was pretty neat. Along with this, I also crafted myself the Furious Fist, which just like let us punch really fast, and this just reminded me back of the JoJo mod, so that was pretty cool. It was like the Hamon, right? We just got the punch using mana. It's really kind of stupid. It's like we should just be able to punch with our hands, but you know, I guess like you do you Dungeons and Dragons, right? Who am I to judge? After this, we went mining, did more interesting Terraria stuff such as get iron ore and get some gold, and then go back to the corruption and then the crimson to try and break the orb so we can fight the Eater of Worlds once more. Yes, indeed, I thought that we would be able to fight the Brain of Cthulhu within the crimson, but apparently Mr. Fargo did not fix his mod, so we're fighting the Eater of Worlds within the crimson biome. That is correct. Boio is just as surprised as you are. Anyways, speaking of surprises, I did manage to take out this boss, and that was pretty sick because now we can actually make significant progress within the playthrough. Along with this, I managed to level up, so I crafted myself the Ray of Sickness, which is just essentially a weapon that shot out these green rays. It was supposed to be like puke or something, but I don't know, it doesn't really look like it. I think by this point we're actually able to right click on our weapons and upgrade them to level 2, but I didn't really realize that, so I went to go mine for Hellstone, get myself full Hellstone armor, got myself some obsidian, and then I saw a meteorite falling down from the sky as I went to Skeletron's dungeon. I went to go fight Skeletron, so this is where I realized that we can actually upgrade our spells to level 2, so I did upgrade the True Magic Missile to level 2, and I went to go absolutely decimate Skeletron. Then with my Molten Pickaxe, I went all the way down to the dungeon, picked up as many, and I mean as many, water candles as I could so we can craft the OP hacks of like being able to 10 times the spawn rate using this one horn from Fargo's Mutant mod. So that was pretty cool. I went down to the underworld, built myself a Elevator, and then tried to farm out Guide Voodoo Demons. I got myself a Guide Voodoo doll, and I was kind of ready to fight the Wall of Flesh, but I wanted to get myself more HP because we were literally only at like 240 health. Now see, my go-to when I need life crystals is the jungle, so I went over to the jungle and I got myself a bunch of life crystals, putting us up to nearly max HP. But before this, we got invaded by goblins, so I had to go take care of the goblin army, and then I went back into the jungle to finish up mining, get myself full HP, and now we were ready to fight the Wall of Flesh. I went down to the underworld, chucked the sussy looking doll into the lava, and then used all of my arsenal to try and take out the Wall of Flesh. I used the Ray of Sickness that was on level 2 to absolutely destroy this wall, and then I went over to break a couple of demon altars. I died to a bunch of wraiths which attacked me, and then I went through the grueling pickaxe progression of getting a cobalt pickaxe, then getting a mithril pickaxe and an anvil, and then trying to get as much adamantite as possible. Once I got all of the adamantite that I needed, I also crafted myself this very cool summon, which was, I guess it was a part of a different class, but like I could still use it if I just like equip the other totems. So like don't hate on me here. Like let's come on, boys, let's just pretend like we're a wizard. Wizards have summons, right? They're pretty cool. But yeah, essentially this thing just like, it was like 2 spinning balls around me. That doesn't sound good. That's besides the point. You get what I mean though. These like 2 spinning balls around me, they would push all the mobs out of the way. So that was really neat, especially when it came to boss fights. It was like literally just like trap the boss within the circle. Then it was very OP. But yeah, full titanium armor. Then I went to craft myself the summon for the destroyer, summon him in, and I actually managed to take him out on our very first attempt. So that was really neat. And then before fighting the twins, I actually realized that I did not craft myself a pair of wings, but I summoned them in anyways and got brutally destroyed. After this, I went to go farm out some harpies so I can craft myself a pair of harpy wings, and I also killed some wyverns so we can get souls of flight, of course. This was very hard. I died many times, but I did get myself the pair of wings, and then once it turned to nighttime, I summoned in and defeated the twins. This is where I could actually upgrade my spells to level 3, so I did have all my spells on level 3, which made it do far more damage. And specifically for the True Magic Missile, it was actually able to shoot more projectiles, and that's what made it deal more damage. And then after this, I decided to fight Skeletron Prime, which was a big mistake. Apparently I wasn't ready. I got absolutely destroyed, so I had to wait for the next night to come around. So once the other night came around, I summoned in and fought Skeletron Prime. I used the nurse to absolutely cheese him, but at the end of the day, we took him out and made the jungle grow restless. You know what else grows restless, boyos? Who you want to guess? That is right, not my subscriber count when I don't post for like 3 weeks in a row. So I really recommend you support your lovely YouTube creator and press the subscribe button. I went to go mine for a bunch of chlorophyte, and I got myself a bunch of chlorophyte, as you might guess. Then I dug out a massive arena for Plantera and summoned her in. We absolutely destroyed her with all the buffs and the True Magic Missile, and then I went straight over to fight Golem. Golem went out really quickly as well for some reason. The Magic Missile was just absolutely crazy, and once we took out Golem, I went over to the dungeon to actually go farm out Ectoplasm and make myself a full set of Spectre Armor. After this, I went to go challenge the Lunatic Cultist, and since my Magic Missile kept on hitting the other Lunatic Cultists, which were like the fakes, I just kept on summoning in various different like dragons, like the Phantom Dragons, the one ancient, whatever, the But like the yellow troll face. You guys know the yellow troll face from the Lunatic Cultist? That thing. And so yeah, I ended up dying. Had to refight Golem again, which was sad. Got myself a pair of beetle wings. Then I fought Lunatic Cultist at spawn so I could actually cheese him with the nurse. And then after this, I went to go fight all of the various different pillars, boyos. Before fighting the pillars, I managed to craft myself this fireball that looked like it was suspiciously from Mario, and I don't know how the creators of this mod did not get copyrighted. Essentially, I went to go fight the vortex pillar first, and I could actually level up my weapons to level 5. So our true magic missile was like on level 5, dealing crazy damage, and so was the fireball. After the vortex pillar, I went to go fight the solar pillar, and once we took that out, I went to go challenge the Stardust Pillar next, and after the Stardust Pillar, I went right over to the Nebula Pillar. Before this, I quickly bought a bunch of potions so I would not absolutely drop a massive load in my pants, and so as he did spawn in, I did manage to drop a massive load in my pants, because before even taking out a single one of his eyeballs, we got absolutely destroyed. I decided to craft another sigil because I could not go through the whole Lunatic Cultist process and all the pillars again. Like, it literally just takes me like an hour with this class. So yeah, sigil crafted, boom, buffed up, and decided to go for it one more time. I think I got myself like an accessory so I could dash out of the way and do all that funky stuff. But yeah, dodging, dashing out of the way, we managed to take out both of the moonlord's eyes, keeping his core for last. And see, now our weapons were literally so underpowered that most of the time the moonlord was healing back faster than we could actually deal damage to him. So that made me very, very sad and very angry. I decided to use that anger and rage to actually take out the moonlord, and after we defeated the moonlord, we were officially level what, like 11, and we ended up beating the Dungeons and Dragons mod in Terraria as a wizard. Be sure to check out another video like this on screen. If you want to see me do another class from this mod, drop a like on the video. If this video gets 5,000 likes, I'll be 100% sure to do another video on this mod, as there's so much more content. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. This has been Boio. Peace out.